One thing that's changed in me since I first came to Weber State is just to have a really great appreciation for our students and the contributions they make in the greater Ogden community across Weber and Davis counties. Weber State really is a backbone in this community. One of the things that is really a hallmark for the institution and a great legacy we have is this personalized, dedicated support of our faculty to students. And one story I think that really sums that up is it was 101 years ago now. There was a student, and he had dropped out of school in the 8th grade to herd sheep during the winter on the Nevada desert. So he didn't have, much of a shot really of going to college. But there was a faculty member at Weber College at the time who said, "Hey, come on, I'll help you figure out how to academically get into school. I'll help you find 4 or 5 odd jobs on campus so you can pay for it." His business plan was to sell root beer in Washington, D.C. because he knew how hot it was there over the summer. So he got the first A&W root beer franchise east of the Mississippi, and he and his wife ventured off to start this Frostock root beer business. And all these years later, Marriott International started because J. Willard Marriott, who was that student, had a helping faculty member at Weber College help him get into school. I just think that embodies what we try to do still today. Now, we have a lot of first-generation students who come from underprivileged backgrounds, but they have all the potential in the world. And it's our role to help launch them.
At the age of 5, I worked in the garage a lot with my dad. We tinkered and made a pretty large Barbie hair salon out of scrap metal that we had in our garage. I started welding and, tinkering to find some little pieces that would work for Barbie's hair washing station. I think I learned at a very young age that if I could imagine it, that it could be brought to life.
So Elaine Cope is one of our outstanding students who graduated as a engineering student, went on to work for Northrop Grumman, has come back, and the faculty here who've had her in class love her because she is such a devoted student.
I ended up taking a tour of Weber State, and I fell in love with the composites program. I saw one of the carbon fiber B-2 bombers on the wall, and from that day, my heart was so set on making one of those B-2 bombers myself. I did end up making one my senior year, and it is my most prized possession. I have it hanging up on my wall in my office at home.
There's no student like Elaine. She's absolutely great. She's one of my best students we had going through the program. She's always active in the school. She's always wanted to participate in extracurricular activities, so she's like a #1 A student.
I feel like a lot of the professors are straight from industry. One of my professors, I get to see him about once or twice a week, and I love that he takes the industry knowledge that he's learning and he helps teach it to us.
She's been very successful in going up through Northrop Grumman or any of the other companies she's worked for, and she's been very successful in the first plastics engineering technology student to graduate.
She's a tremendous example of, I think, not just the type of students we have, but the relationship our students can have with our faculty and then go on and succeed and continue to have a relationship with the institution. You do. That's a good thing. Zadoth is really an example of how one family, one generation can completely change their outlook by participating in higher education.
My parents grew up in a small town named Delicias, Chihuahua in Mexico. My dad wanted to pursue the American dream. So he proposed to my mom, came to work for a year, and then went back to go get her. And they came to Utah in March of 1997. My dad started as a dishwasher, and my mom was cleaning houses at the time. And they didn't have any food or money for a month. And just to see them now, how much they've thrived, and the opportunity that they've given me and my brother. The opportunity that they've given me and my brother to be able to pursue our own dreams and our own careers is truly, I just think, the American dream. When I was in high school, I didn't get too many opportunities to be involved or to truly discover what I wanted to do, and my parents always pushed me and said, what college do you want to go to? I thought that I couldn't really have opportunities to advance my education, that maybe college wasn't the right choice for me. But I received an email my senior year from the Office of Undergraduate Research here at Weber State saying that they were looking for new freshmen that wanted to come to Weber State. Back then it was called the Research Program Scholarship. And I jumped on that so fast because I said, this is something that I want to do, and that would enhance my education, and I was determined to get it. And when I got an email that said, you have been accepted to the program of undergraduate research scholars, I just burst out into tears. I was overwhelmed and excited that I was able to get an opportunity to just try something new, and that someone was willing to take that chance on me.
Zadoth actually came to me as a freshman, and we have a structured kind of research apprenticeship kind of program here at Weber. They will take students who are interested, generally in sciences or research or, kind of just curious about it, but they kind of mentor them with a faculty member that will help guide them. I had her kind of piggyback on some research projects just to show her what we were doing. And eventually, thankfully, she chose to kind of enter our program and has been with us for about 2 years and is about to graduate.
I'm very proud that we're able to provide those type of opportunities that are affordable, that are accessible, that are quality enough to make that type of difference in a student's life like Zadoth.
When I was a kid, we used to go camping in Halama Beach down in Southern California, and that's right by Vandenberg Air Force Base. One time we were able to watch one of the missiles being launched, and I think that is a perfect opportunity that if future Elaine could talk to past Elaine, I would just whisper in her ear, you will be working on one of these one day.
I was so lucky to come to Weber State and to have these opportunities opened up to me that I never received before for any first-generation college student, specifically for any first-generation Latino college student. It can be done. And there are countless and endless opportunities here at Weber State to be able to pursue your career and what you want to achieve.
And whether that's Elaine Cope or Zadoth Vasquez or any of our other students you see walking around our campus, there's that potential, and we just hope to unleash it.